What up, the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFF report. Now, I told y'all about how Trump had actually told U.S. troops to step aside and let the Turkish military forces actually come into northern Syria and basically do what they want. You know what I'm saying? After a phone call between Trump and President Erdogan of Turkey. Now, since then, actually yesterday, it said that dozens have actually been killed and tens of thousands have actually fled from their homes of northern Syria. The Kurdish Red Crescent actually reported that 11 civilians have been killed, including one baby. So that lets you know how shit is going down. We'll see what turns out from this. It seems like an admission or allowing carnage to happen. But it's like, who determines, like, where does Trump even in his cabinet really get the authority to basically say who gets to die and who lives? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't seem right. Green War and graduation. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFF report. Now, Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman, these are two associates of Donald Trump's personal lawyer and former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani. They were actually supposed to meet with him in Vienna, and actually they were arrested at Dulles International Airport Wednesday night. Now, the indictment actually says that they had pressured former Texas Republican Congressmember Pete Sessions into actually putting pressure on the Ukrainian officials to actually open up an investigation against the Bidens out there in Ukraine, right? So now they were arrested. They were also calling for the ouster of Ukrainian and the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch. Now, keep all of this in mind, as they were also charged in the indictment for using foreign money to actually fund politicians and basically influence politics, including in Nevada, where they were actually trying to set up weed businesses. So I'll let you know what's happening. Green War and graduate. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFF report. So over in Minneapolis, yesterday, Trump had a campaign rally, and you know, he went in on Joe Biden. He was like, he was never a good senator. He was only a good vice president because he knew how to kiss Barack Obama's ass. That's crazy that he said that, but obviously all the gloves are off and he don't give a fuck about decorum or none of that shit. But check this out though. He also attacked Ilhan Omar, the Congress member from Minnesota, so that's kind of deep. But he also came out playing Purple Rain. Now, he agreed a year ago that he would not use Prince's music. He confirmed that a year ago, but he still came out using his music. Prince's estate is like slamming him for doing that, like basically saying, like, you know what I mean, they did not give him permission for that. Keep in mind that he's actually being held, cities are complaining that he's not reimbursing them. The Trump campaign is not reimbursing the cities for the fire department and police force work that they're providing. Center for Public Integrity actually totaled these services at more than 800 bans. Green War and graduate. What up, the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFF report. So last night they actually had the Democratic presidential candidates had a town hall meeting hosted by CNN on LGBT rights. I'm gonna leave out the Q because I only read it as LGBT rights, so maybe they didn't care about the queers in this one. But apparently a lot of people didn't feel like they were giving attention to the transgenders as well. So the town hall kept getting interrupted by trans activists, black trans activists specifically, trying to bring light to the fact to the epidemic of black trans men, black trans women, being that's men who turned into women, being killed this year. There have been 18 black trans women killed this year so far. One activist, one time Mayor Pete Buttigieg, the South Bend, Indiana mayor, who actually was being questioned by Anderson Cooper. They're both openly gay, but they got interrupted by activists, you know, showing up with Trans Lives Matter banners. And then one was even interrupted by Blossom Brown, black trans woman activist, who basically said that, you know, we're not going to stop until more attention is given to this. Like, there hasn't even been any black trans people to take the mic. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but Green Wall and graduation, they definitely mad. I don't know about how I feel about that Trans Lives Matter shit. I'm very sensitive when people use the blank lives matter shit on a political level. Green Wall and graduation. For the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFF report. Now, this morning, there was actually announcements made on who was receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. The 100th Nobel Peace Prize actually went to Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. That's Abiy is A-B-I-Y, Ahmed, A-H-M-E-D. Now, why did he get this prize? Well, keep in mind that last year he actually brokered a historic peace deal between Eritrea and neighboring Ethiopia. What does that matter? Well, the peace deal between them, they were actually in a state of war for like almost the past two decades. Starting back in like between 98 and 2000, they actually had a border war where 70,000 people were killed. So shit was real. The beef was real. And you know what I mean? To put that to rest, as well as he's also credited with releasing thousands of like political dissidents and you know what I mean, and activists and all that. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Green Wall and graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFM report. Now, the media in Iran is actually, or Iran, is actually reporting that missiles had actually struck one of its oil tankers. Well, two of its oil tankers had actually been struck by missiles over in the Red Sea, 60 miles off the coast of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So this is increasing fears of there being like, you know, problems and violence in the region. No one has claimed responsibility for the attack yet, but what the missiles did do was hurt, you know, fracture the oil tankers in such a way that oil was actually spilling into the water. Green Wall and graduate. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFF report. Now, I've been telling y'all about how over in Ecuador, there have been a lot of government anti-austerity protests going against, or that was actually sparked by President Lenin Moreno keeping his deal with the International Monetary Fund to get this $4-point-something billion fund in order to, in exchange, ending this decades-old fuel subsidy that caused fuel prices to skyrocket. We're talking 120% going up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Imagine if gas went up by 120% here in the United States. So that's what they going on. Motherfuckers just was not having it. Now, they've been protesting in the streets heavy. It got so bad that Moreno actually had moved government operations from the capital of Quito to another location. But, you know, he still vowed to keep the fuel subsidy in order. But never mind that. Yesterday, protesters actually held 8 police officers hostage in Quito, but due to the government crackdown, 5 people have been killed. Green Wall and graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFF report. So yesterday, for 15 hours, hundreds of asylum seekers, migrants and their families who've been forced to remain in Matamoros, Mexico, and as part of Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, they actually went to the international bridge that sits between Matamoros and Brownsville, Texas, and basically shut that bitch down. 15 hours. Now, they were met, you see pictures of Customs and Border Protection officers actually being on the other side of the gate, you know, with their riot gear on, you know what I mean? It was a little standoff or whatever, but Customs and Border Protection people ended up even throwing smoke bombs at the asylum seekers who were protesting. They were protesting the Remain in Mexico policy by shutting down the bridge. They're protesting really the awful conditions that they're forced to stay in Matamoros, Mexico, while they wait for asylum. So that's what's going down. Green Wall and graduate. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFM report. Make sure y'all sign that petition too. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in the video description. If you're watching this on YouTube, or go straight to change.org, look up Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Bob Bishop Grady, $Hip Grady lays out exactly why he should be removed from the platform with irrefutable evidence. Now into the news though, African-American gymnast and 4-time Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles actually won her 5th all-around world championship last night, where she was in Stuttgart, Germany for the World Gymnastics Championship. Now, this totals her at 22 world medals. She won by a margin of 2.1 points. And that's the largest margin of victory that she's even won by. And you already hear her name ringing bells. So, you know, she's really on some beast mode shit right now. Keep in mind that she's a sex assault survivor from that Larry Nassar debacle, the Olympic gymnast doctor who was then found having sexually assaulted like 160 girls or whatever. So it's like, you know, to climb all of that, you know, black people, you know, we love to climb out of some bullshit and start winning. Now I suggest y'all learn how to do the same. Green Wall graduate, supporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFF report. Out in California, like multiple fires are actually going down across the state. Last night, the Saddle Ridge fire actually started sparking over in Los Angeles, Cali, and multiple blazes have actually like expanded from that due to like strong winds and dry conditions. It's even creeping over in the Riverside, California. You're talking about hundreds of people have been evacuating, and you're also talking about this happening amidst Southern California Edison, and as I told y'all the other day, Pacific Gas and Electric, or PG&E, actually purposefully implementing blackouts to hundreds of thousands of residents due to them trying to prevent wildfires. So now what's become a preventative measure, it seems like it's now they're in the moment. Like now they're just trying to contain wildfires in a lot of cases. So you have hundreds of thousands of people over there without power and in fear of, you know, a wildfire hitting them. That's kind of crazy. Green Wall graduate, the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFF report. Now I've been telling y'all about Extinction Rebellion. They've been getting it popping all over the country, right? Well, actually they got it jumping in Times Square yesterday, where 60 people ended up getting arrested because they were protesting, bringing awareness to climate change, climate action, while shutting down traffic in the heart of Times Square. Now, if you ever been to Times Square, it's already congested, so to be shutting down shit over there is a big deal. I know them motherfucking drivers would hiss, but you know, awareness has to be made. A lot of people misunderstand the purpose of protesting. Protesting is the people's way of communicating with government or whoever is like in power, whoever has the power to do something about it. So anybody that tells you that there's no point in doing that really isn't no grassroots type of person, or isn't for the people, and definitely have never have boots on the ground, or they don't even see regularly when things are overturned by protesting. So you know, that lets you know what's happening. Shout out to the Extinction Rebellion, the Green Wall graduate.